I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. I never told anybody to lie, not a single time, never. These allegations are false, and I need to go back to work for the American people. Thank you.
Oh, the lie detector determined that was a lie.
I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. Indeed, I did have a relationship with Miss Lewinsky that was not appropriate. In fact, it was wrong.
There was really an affair airing on A&E.
The Clinton affair.
Lewinsky ate events leading up to Clinton's impeachment trial, but much of the focus centers around Clinton's fateful relationship.
I feel comfortable talking about it because I think it's one of those things where it's not as if it didn't register with me that he was the president. Obviously it did, but I think in one way, the moment we were actually in the back office for the first time, the truth is that I think it meant more to me that someone who other people desired me. However wrong it was, however misguided for who I was in that very moment at 22 years old, that was how it felt.
Lewinsky breaking down when she recalls being questioned by the FBI for the first time.
In order to cooperate and to avoid charges, I would have to make phone calls, monitored phone calls, which they would listen into and record, and I might have to wear a wire and go see people actually in person. The ground completely crumbled in that moment. I felt so much guilt, and I was terrified. There was a point for me somewhere in this sort of first several hours where I would be hysterically crying and then I would just shut down. And in the shutdown period, I remember looking out the window and thinking that the only way to fix this was to kill myself, was to jump out the window. And I felt terrible. I was scared and I was mortified and afraid of what this was going to do to my family. And, you know, I still was in love with Bill at the time. So I felt really responsible.
In a new essay in Vanity Fair, Lewinsky explains why she decided to take part in the documentary, writing, "Filming the documentary forced me to acknowledge to myself past behavior that I still regret and feel ashamed of. There were many, many moments when I questioned not just the decision to participate, but my sanity itself." She goes on to write, "Yes, the process of filming has been exceedingly painful, but I hope that by participating, by telling the truth about a time in my life, a time in our history, I can help ensure that what happened to me never happens to another young person in our country again."
Now, the title of the article in Vanity Fair is a quote from her, "Who gets to live in Victimville?" Lewinsky saying she is fascinated by that debate.
And also in that article, she talks about what she would do if she came face to face with Hillary Clinton as well.
It's very interesting what her answer is. Lewinsky says she would tell Mrs. Clinton how very sorry she is. She also says she's written letters of apology to others relating back to 1998. She says those letters to those who she believes wrongly graved her because she just wanted to say, "I'm sorry."
I'm worried that we're at risk of losing our freedom of speech, and that the weight of the government is being used to restrict expression from journalism to comedy. Look, no politician likes the press on bad days.
I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. Indeed, I did have a relationship with Miss Lewinsky that was not appropriate. In fact, it was wrong.
Facing hard questions and being forced to think them through and answer them makes our ideas stronger and our politics better.
Boy, ain't no fucking way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
And if the coverage is unfair and inaccurate, we can stand up and do that and point it out and express our disagreements without trying to put people who are doing their jobs under the Constitution out of business.
A few moments later.
The Clinton family has long been a subject of fascination, not just for their political influence, but also for the numerous mysterious deaths that have occurred within their circle.
These types of mysterious happenstances where hundreds of people who have compromising information on the Clintons go missing or die by suicide, shooting themselves in the back of the head 12 times.
Oh, hell no!
Now, we know as a matter of fact, and on our program had Rod Blagojevich, who was the former governor of Illinois, extremely popular guy, who could pretty much have done anything, but he got caught in the trap of the Obama machine and was destroyed for it, completely pillared, was taken off the chessboard, had to be pardoned by President Trump of all people. Ladies and gentlemen, Governor Rod Blagojevich talked to us at length about how corrupt Barack Obama was and how he would gladly have his political enemies either murdered or imprisoned in order to protect his power.
Oh, hell no!
So that brings us nicely along to the Obamas themselves. It's a very strange thing that happened at the Obamas' massive palatial estate in Martha's Vineyard while the Obamas were home with the Secret Service there. Their beloved private chef, who had known them for the better part of 15 years, his name's Tafari Williams, he drowned in a paddleboarding accident. Now, this has been officially ruled an accident for a guy who was a really good swimmer, who had a witness with him, a mysterious young woman who was on Obama's staff, who was watched by the Secret Service while he was drowning, because they have cameras there. Secret Service are the ones who called this all in.
Mr. and Mrs. Obama, who were not at Martha's Vineyard at the time, released a statement calling him a warm, fun, extraordinarily kind person.
Two law enforcement sources tell NBC News the Obamas were not home when the incident occurred.
Authorities said the Obama family was not staying at that home during the accident.
We have new information tonight in the drowning death of Obama's personal chef, Tafari Campbell. The Massachusetts State Police responded to our FOIA request and released their report with some redactions. According to the report, Obama was on the scene shortly after Campbell went missing.
What?
And the point is that, like, it's very odd, like, and it's very strange, and nobody's ever gotten to the bottom of it. Like, how did this happen? Who are the mystery people who witnessed this? Why did anyone go help him? This chef certainly didn't deserve to die. There was speculation that perhaps he was writing a tell-all book, so on and so forth. I don't know. Maybe we'll never know.
A few moments later.
We've been secretly planning this for some time, colluding. No one knew. The network didn't know. The camera people didn't know. Very few people outside of a small group at the White House knew.
Thank you so much. Cheers. Cheers.
Y'all ever heard of Larry Sinclair, the guy who came out about Obama, said that he was smoking crack with Obama, and then went down on Obama? Who remembers that story? Interesting how it's not blown up in the media.
Looking for someone to enjoy the night with. The introduction was made through the limo driver.
And what happened?
We had a few drinks. I had made some comments about wanting Coke, so we got in the limo and left, and we started drinking. I started snorting. He started smoking. I actually put my hand on his knee and started to rub up his thigh, and I performed oral sex on Barack Obama. The following day, I actually get a knock on my hotel room door in Gurnee, Illinois, only to find Barack Obama standing in front of it. He had actually come back for seconds. I performed oral sex on him in the hotel room at the Comfort Inn and Suites in Gurnee, Illinois.
Were there drugs involved in the second night as well?
There was.
Who produced those?
He actually brought those with him.
Now, Obama at that time was a state senator.
I actually had no idea who he was.
And then when did you find out that it was Barack Obama?
Watching the 2004 DNC convention.
Thank you very much, everybody. God bless you.
And it hit me, and at the time I was just kind of floored.
Good afternoon. My name is Montgomery Blair Sibley. I'm the attorney for Larry Sinclair.
Now, you have this press conference.
I performed fellatio on Senator Obama in the limousine during the time Senator Obama was smoking crack cocaine.
After the press conference, you are arrested
by the D.C. Police Department upon the orders of Beau Biden, Attorney General for Delaware.
So this is Joe Biden's son, Beau Biden.
It is. Apparently he had a grand jury indictment from 2 weeks after I went public on Obama accusing me of theft that never took place.
Shortly before you made these public allegations about Obama, you were contacted, you say, by a man named Donald Young.
Donald Young was the choir director in Jeremiah Wright's church in Chicago.
This is the church Obama attended?
Exactly.
And what did Donald Young tell you?
That he, too, had intimate relations with Barack Obama and had for years, and that I needed to protect myself, that they were going to come after me.
What happened to him?
He was shot point blank in his apartment in Chicago.
The murder was never solved?
No, it wasn't.
So Larry was arrested for something he didn't do, and somebody else came up to Larry and said that they messed with Obama and ended up being executed. Yet the story's not blown up in the media. And Larry's story has not changed in years. There's no holes in it. He's completely had the same story for years. Let this had been somebody that people don't like. They would have blown it up in the media, calling somebody a crackhead. Very interesting story. And if you never heard it, now you have.
But we do know that the Obamas are unscrupulous people. The Obamas live, let's just call it a very creepy and odd relationship. Barack Obama is a very secretive person and is somebody who openly admitted in letters that were published by his ex-girlfriend that he liked men. From 2023, Barack Obama told his ex-girlfriend, "I make love to men daily, but in my imagination."
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Okay, right, got it. This is a 40-year-old letter that resurfaced to an ex-girlfriend. In regard to homosexuality, I must say this is in Barack Obama's own hand, and nobody has refuted that this isn't an authentic letter. I must say that I believe in an attempt to remove oneself from the present, a refusal perhaps to perpetuate an endless farce of earthly life. You see, I make love to men daily, he wrote in 1982. Okay. This was the girlfriend, and here's the letter in Barack Obama's own hand. My mind is androgynous, and to a great extent, I hope to make it more so until I can think in terms of people, not women as opposed to men. But in returning to the body, I see that I have made a man. Physical life, I choose to accept that contingency. So he's like straight up describing like transgenderism here, effectively. He says, yeah, I see that I have been made a man, and physically in life, I choose to accept that contingency. But like, maybe I could be in a different body. I don't know, it's really creepy. I haven't looked at this stuff in a while. And the only reason I'm sort of dragging this stuff up, this was from 2023, is because of one, the creepy and odd relationship that Barack Obama has with his wife. Here's the last time we saw them on camera together. Barack Obama walking into his very awkward wife.
IMO, look at you. How are you?
Wait, you guys like each other?
Oh yeah, really, huh?
That's so
the
nice.
rumor mill. It's my husband, y'all.
She took me back.
Now don't start.
I can't.
It was touch and go for a while.
It's so nice to have you both in the same room
I
together.
I know, because when we aren't, folks think we're divorced.
Let me tell you. First of all,
what a creepy weirdo! What a series of creepy weirdos! All of these people. In this same interview, Barack Obama admitted that you must have a gay man as a friend.
Bring a gay friend.
I had a gay professor in college at a time when openly gay folks still weren't outlawed, who became one of my favorite professors. You need that to show empathy and kindness. And by the way, you need that person in your friend group, so that if you then have a boy who's gay or non-binary or what have you, they have somebody that they can go, okay, I'm not alone in this.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Well, Barack Obama had more than just a gay friend that was a professor in college. Allegedly, Barack Obama had a really fun time with a guy named Larry Sinclair. And the reason why we're making this video and asking all these strange questions about Barack Obama, sort of lining up all the dominoes of his creepy past, is that Larry Sinclair has died. And we don't exactly know why. And we don't know how. But we just know that he's not with us anymore, according to his own X account. The man who allegedly had gay sex with Barack Obama, Larry Sinclair, has passed away. Horrified to hear this. He was a very kind man. Larry Sinclair, of course, famously doing a Tucker Carlson interview seen by 40 million people, 69,000 reposts. Yikes. Okay. This is the Larry Sinclair account. This is the account that he posted from and did videos from and so on, saying that he is now dead. They posted this photo of Larry Sinclair, who's obviously a troubled man, a peculiar individual, but then saying that he got really sick and he passed away.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Sinclair?
Currently, I run a nonprofit in Cocoa building affordable housing.
Now, in 2008, when Obama announced his candidacy for president, you made some explosive allegations about him that dated back to some events that occurred in 1999. Is that the year that you met Barack Obama?
It is.
Where did you meet him?
Outside of a bar in Chicago.
What were you doing?
I was on a night out. I had asked a limo driver if he knew anyone that would be interested in showing me around the town, and it was clear for the limo driver that I was looking for someone to enjoy the night with. The introduction was made through the limo driver.
And what happened?
We had a few drinks. I had made some comments about wanting Coke, so we got in the limo and left, and we started drinking. I started snorting. He started smoking. I actually put my hand on his knee and started to rub up his thigh, and I performed oral sex on Barack Obama. The following day, I actually get a knock on my hotel room door in Gurnee, Illinois, only to find Barack Obama standing in front of it. He had actually come back for seconds. I performed oral sex on him in the hotel room at the Comfort Inn and Suites in Gurnee, Illinois.
Were there drugs involved on the second night as well?
There was.
Who produced those?
He actually brought those with him.
Now, Obama at that time was a state senator.
I actually had no idea who he was.
And then when did you find out that it was Barack Obama?
Watching the 2004 DNC convention.
Thank you very much, everybody. God bless you. Thank you.
And it hit me, and at the time, I was just kind of floored.
Good afternoon. My name is Montgomery Blair Sibley. I'm the attorney for Larry Sinclair.
Now, you have this press conference.
I performed fellatio on Senator Obama in the limousine during the time Senator Obama was smoking crack cocaine.
After the press conference, you are arrested
by the D.C. Police Department upon the orders of Beau Biden, Attorney General for Delaware.
So this is Joe Biden's son, Beau Biden.
It is. Apparently he had a grand jury indictment from 2 weeks after I went public on Obama accusing me of theft that never took place.
Shortly before you made these public allegations about Obama, you were contacted, you say, by a man named Donald Young.
Donald Young was the choir director in Jeremiah Wright's church in Chicago.
This is the church Obama attended?
Exactly.
And what did Donald Young tell you?
That he, too, had intimate relations with Barack Obama and had for years, and that I needed to protect myself, that they were going to come after me.
What happened to him?
He was shot point blank in his apartment.
Assalamu alaikum. Many other Americans have Muslims in their families or have lived in a Muslim majority country. I know because I am one of them.
You are absolutely right that John McCain has not talked about my Muslim faith. My Muslim faith.
The Holy Quran teaches that, the Holy Quran tells us, and the Holy Quran also says, no longer a Christian nation.
We do not consider ourselves a Christian nation.
Point that it made an American president for the first time in history bow to a Muslim king.
City today, and he wasn't wearing an American flag pin. Those pins have become synonymous with politicians since 9/11. Obama says he doesn't like how the pin has come to represent patriotism.
There's certainly going to be more indictments coming over the next 3.5 years of the Trump administration.
10 mysterious deaths surrounding the Clinton family. The Clinton family has long been a subject of fascination, not just for their political influence, but also for the numerous mysterious deaths that have occurred within their circle. While many of these incidents have logical explanations, others have fueled widespread rumors and conspiracy theories. Here are 10 of the most shocking and intriguing cases. Fact number 1. Vince Foster, the White House counsel's tragic end. Vince Foster, a prominent Arkansas lawyer, had been a close personal friend and colleague of both Bill and Hillary Clinton for many years. Appointed deputy White House counsel in 1993, Foster became a key figure in the early Clinton administration, but he reportedly struggled with the immense pressures of his position. On July 20, 1993, Foster's body was discovered in Fort Marcy Park, Virginia, with a gunshot wound to the head.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
His death was officially ruled a suicide, but conspiracy theories quickly emerged, partly because of his proximity to the Clintons and his involvement in controversial matters like the Whitewater scandal. Foster had confided to friends that he was overwhelmed by the political firestorms surrounding the administration. Despite several investigations affirming the suicide conclusion, skeptics continue to question the circumstances, citing alleged inconsistencies in the autopsy report and the treatment of evidence. His office was allegedly searched by Clinton aides shortly after his death, fueling speculation about what Foster might have known. Number 2. Seth Rich, a political operative's sudden demise. Seth Rich, a 27-year-old staffer at the Democratic National Committee, DNC, was shot and killed on July 10, 2016, in Washington, D.C. While police concluded that it was a botched robbery, many found the circumstances suspicious, particularly as Rich's wallet, watch, and phone were left untouched. Around the same time, WikiLeaks had begun releasing damaging emails from the DNC, and rumors surfaced that Rich might have been the source of the leaks.
Oh, hell
no! WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange fueled these speculations by cryptically suggesting that Rich could have been connected to the leaks, though he stopped short of directly confirming it. No solid evidence has ever linked Rich to the emails or WikiLeaks, and investigations by both the FBI and police concluded it was a random street crime.
Boy, ain't no fucking way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
Nevertheless, conspiracy theories persist, especially in the wake of political tensions during the 2016 U.S. election. Rich's death became a touchstone for debate over political corruption and media manipulation. Number 3. Ron Brown, the Commerce Secretary's fatal flight. Ron Brown was a highly influential figure as the Secretary of Commerce under President Bill Clinton. On April 3, 1996, Brown died in a plane crash while on an official trip to Croatia. The crash was ruled an accident, but many found Brown's death suspicious due to his deep involvement in controversial financial dealings that allegedly implicated the Clintons. Further fueling theories, a military pathologist reportedly observed a circular wound on Brown's skull, which some speculated might have been a bullet hole. The possibility of foul play was quickly dismissed, with official reports attributing the wound to blunt force trauma from the crash. However, Brown had been under investigation for corruption, leading some to suspect that he might have been eliminated to prevent him from testifying. Brown's financial difficulties and his significant role in both the Clinton administration and various global deals only deepened speculation. Number 4. James McDougal, the Whitewater scandal informant. James McDougal was a central figure in the Whitewater real estate scandal, a failed investment deal that embroiled the Clintons in a long-running legal investigation. Once a close associate and business partner of the Clintons, McDougal later became a key witness for the prosecution, agreeing to testify about his dealings with the Clintons. In March 1998, while serving a prison sentence for fraud, McDougal died suddenly from an apparent heart attack at the Federal Correctional Institution in Fort Worth, Texas. His death occurred just as he was expected to provide critical testimony against the Clintons, raising suspicions about the timing. Some speculated that McDougal had been deliberately denied necessary medical care, or even silenced, to protect powerful interests. Rumors swirled that his cooperation posed a direct threat to Bill and Hillary Clinton's political futures. Number 5. Mary Mahoney, the Starbucks murders. Mary Catherine Mahoney, a former White House intern, was brutally murdered in a Starbucks coffee shop in Washington, D.C., on July 6, 1997. Mahoney, along with 2 other employees, was shot execution-style during what was officially described as a robbery, but no money was taken. Mahoney had been involved in a lawsuit related to sexual harassment in the Clinton administration and was rumored to have been preparing to come forward with allegations against President Clinton. The highly suspicious nature of the murders, combined with the political context, led to widespread speculation that Mahoney's death was an assassination intended to silence her. The case remains unsolved, and though police later arrested and convicted a suspect for the crime, doubts about the true motives persist. Number 6. Jerry Parks, the private investigator with secrets. Jerry Luther Parks, the head of security for the Clinton-Gore campaign headquarters in Arkansas, was murdered on September 26, 1993. Parks was shot multiple times in his car while driving through Little Rock. His death came just months after Vince Foster's and in the midst of various Clinton-related scandals. Parks' son claimed that his father had been compiling a dossier on Bill Clinton's extramarital affairs and other potentially damaging information.
I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. I never told anybody to lie, not a single time, never. These allegations are false, and I need to go back to work for the American people. Thank you.
According to The Sun, Parks had expressed concerns for his safety in the weeks leading up to his murder. His death remains unsolved, and many believe that his knowledge of the Clintons' secrets may have played a role in his killing. Conspiracy theorists have linked his murder to a broader cover-up involving other mysterious deaths connected to the Clintons. Number 7. John Ashe, the UN official's weighty death. John Ashe, a former president of the United Nations General Assembly, died on June 22, 2016, at his home in Westchester County, New York. The official cause of death was ruled as accidental, with Ashe reportedly crushed by a barbell while lifting weights. However, Ashe's death came at a particularly sensitive time, as he was facing federal corruption charges and was scheduled to testify in a case involving a Chinese businessman who had ties to the Clinton Foundation. The suspicious timing of Ashe's death, combined with its bizarre nature, led to speculation that it may not have been an accident at all. Some theorized that Ashe had been silenced before he could reveal damaging information in court. Despite the lack of concrete evidence supporting foul play, the case remains a topic of intrigue. Number 8. Paul Tully, the Democratic strategist's mysterious passing. Paul Tully, a senior Democratic strategist and close advisor to Bill Clinton, was found dead in his hotel room in Little Rock, Arkansas, on September 24, 1992. Tully, who played a key role in Clinton's presidential campaign, was only 48 years old, and his death was attributed to a heart attack. Given the timing, just weeks before the election, rumors circulated that Tully's death might have been more than just a natural occurrence. As a key figure in shaping Clinton's political strategy, Tully had intimate knowledge of the inner workings of the campaign. His sudden death led some to speculate that it was orchestrated to prevent certain information from becoming public. However, no evidence of foul play has ever surfaced, and his death remains officially classified as natural. Number 9. Danny Casolaro, the investigative journalist's suicide. In August 1991, journalist Danny Casolaro was found dead in a hotel bathtub in Martinsburg, West Virginia, with his wrists slashed multiple times. His death was ruled a suicide, but his family and friends vehemently disagreed with this conclusion. Casolaro had been investigating a sprawling conspiracy he referred to as the Octopus, which he believed tied together various scandals, including the Iran-Contra affair, government corruption, and the Clintons. At the time of his death, Casolaro had reportedly been on the verge of completing his investigation, and his notes and research materials were missing from his hotel room. This led to widespread speculation that Casolaro had been murdered to prevent him from exposing the alleged conspiracy. His death remains one of the more mysterious cases connected to the Clintons. Number 10. Victor Razor II, the campaign fundraiser's fatal plane crash. Victor Razor II, an influential fundraiser for Bill Clinton's 1992 presidential campaign, died in a plane crash in Alaska on July 30, 1992. Razor, who had been deeply involved in managing Clinton's campaign finances, was on a fishing trip when the small plane he was traveling in crashed under unclear circumstances. While the crash was officially ruled an accident, the timing of Razor's death, just months before Clinton's election, raised suspicions among conspiracy theorists. They speculated that Razor may have had inside knowledge about questionable campaign fundraising practices, which made his sudden death appear convenient. Though no evidence has emerged to support these claims, Razor's death remains a subject of speculation.
If you look at the Comey indictment, Martha, this was a grand jury indictment delivered in Alexandria, Virginia, not exactly a hotbed of Donald Trump's political support. There were three requested indictments. The grand jury returned 2 of those 3 indictments. So I think they showed they were judicious. I think that it showed clearly that there were a couple of things that James Comey did wrong.
The deep state reckoning is just beginning, with the grand jury indicting former FBI Director James Comey for lying to and obstructing Congress. The charges center around Comey's congressional testimony regarding the origins of the Russia hoax. And some believe he could face even more charges for his role in it.
We'll be lucky if there is not a grand conspiracy charge brought. Comey and company and all of them got involved in the so-called Clinton plan, which, if you remember, the Clinton plan was to do what? To say that the Trump campaign was colluding with the Russians. That's like the quintessential definition of conspiracy.
This is the tip of the iceberg. He leaked classified information to create a narrative politically. I think that's a strong case. But there's so much else. Comey knew then what we all know now and ignored it. I believe he withheld exculpatory information from the court because he wanted Trump to be found guilty.
But some are defending Comey, including his former right-hand man, Andrew McCabe.
I'm not aware of Jim Comey ever authorizing some other person to leak information. That's not something I experienced personally. It's not something I saw in all the time I spent working around Jim Comey. I didn't ever see Jim Comey authorizing other people to leak information.
All right, Joey, answering a reporter's questions, a lot different than what you say to Congress when you're under oath.
Yeah, the indictment was short and sweet. So there's a lot of information that we don't have, such as what exactly they indicted him on. But, you got McCabe there saying, I don't think I ever remember that. But it's also his testimony juxtaposed to Comey's that Ted Cruz was getting at. So I don't know much about this, and I'm not a lawyer, but I do know a big part of the government's plan, usually in things like this, is to start to get someone to tell on the other to keep themselves out of trouble. And when Vance and Trump are signaling things, and I don't think they're a part of the Justice Department's investigation here, but when many people are saying things like, I think there are more to come, I wonder if that's part of it. If the idea is to put pressure in so many places, somebody says, hey, I'll talk to get me out of this.
Yeah, the paperwork, the notes, and the personal notes, that's what I think a lot of what the FBI is in the Department of Justice is looking at, which begs the question, could Hillary Clinton be the next person indicted? During a 2016 congressional hearing, I pressed Comey on Hillary, and he denied that she ever lied to him.
Did Hillary Clinton lie under oath?
Not to the FBI, not in a case we're working.
Did you review the documents where Congressman Jim Jordan asked her specifically, and she said, quote, there was nothing marked classified on my emails, either sent or received, end quote?
I don't remember reviewing that particular testimony. I'm aware of that being said, though.
Did the FBI investigate her statements under oath on this topic?
Not to my knowledge. I don't think there's been a referral from Congress.
Do you need a referral from Congress to investigate her statements under oath?
Sure do.
You'll have one.
Yeah, that came a few hours later. Anita, where do you see this going?
Well, I think we all heard Devin Nunes talk about how Hillary was involved in pushing this plan that Trump was colluding with Russia, right? I happened to pull an article. This is an article, this is a CNN article from 2022, okay? It says Hillary Clinton personally approved plan to share Trump-Russia allegation with the press in 2016, campaign manager says. So this is not some right-wing conspiracy. This is not some Republican talking points. This is a CNN article from 3 years ago. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if she could be indicted and finally have to answer some of these questions about this Russia collusion narrative and this dossier.
Chuck Schumer came back with a long laundry list of partisan demands that don't fit into this process, and he's going to try to shut the government down. The president wants to talk with him about that and say, please, don't do that. What Chuck Schumer is demanding in exchange for all those good things I just listed, he wants to reinstate free health care for illegal aliens paid by American taxpayers.
What?
We're not doing that. We can't do that. That's just one of the crazy things he's requested.
Well, I think he would take issue with that. Here is what House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries said on CNN Friday night about what he says Democrats are asking for, which is the continuing of the Obamacare subsidies being extended to American citizens only to prevent more than 1 million of those Americans joining the ranks of the uninsured. I'd like to hear your response. This is what Jeffries said.
And all we're saying is let's find a path forward to actually fix the healthcare system that Republicans have broken for the good of everyone. They dropped this reckless partisan bill that continues to gut the healthcare of the American people, and it went down in flames. And so their bill is dead on arrival.
Is that demand for continuing the Obamacare subsidies, is that even on the table tomorrow?
Look, that statement by my friend Hakeem is absolutely absurd. There is nothing partisan about this continuing resolution. Nothing. We didn't add a single partisan priority or policy rider at all. We're operating completely in good faith to give more time. The only thing that would gut health care, using his own phraseology there, is if we took Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer's demand here, because they want to cut $50 billion from rural hospitals. That's the new fund that we added in the big, beautiful bill, the Working Families Tax Cuts that we passed just a couple months ago. They want to gut that. They also want to hold up all this funding that I listed. I mean, the WIC program is something that we all champion for women, infants, and children nutrition. That would be held up. So it's exactly the opposite of what Hakeem is talking about. The Obamacare subsidies is a policy debate that has to be determined by the end of the year, December 30th, not right now, while we're simply trying to keep the government open so we can have all these debates.
So just as a point of fact, it's against the law for non-citizens to get those subsidies. And if they expire, Americans' premiums could jump as much as 75%, some experts say, and consumers could start viewing those higher premiums as soon as October. Are you not worried at all that those people might blame Republicans for those health care costs, for the insurance costs going up?
No, they're not being truthful about that, Jake. The program doesn't expire until the end of December, so we have time to have all those discussions and debates. But yes, it is illegal for illegal aliens to receive health care paid for by hardworking American taxpayers. But they're making the demand to change that. They want to add that back in. That's one of Chuck Schumer's primary demands, to keep the government open, and we're not going to do that. The American people didn't vote for us to do that. We're trying to clean up the system. So what they're demanding, they know is outrageous. They know it's far beyond the pale. And look, I challenge anybody listening to us, Jake, go pull this up. You will see there is nothing partisan in what we have passed and presented to the Senate. Chuck Schumer is doing this for one reason. He is trying to get cover from the far left base of his party because they've been hammering him for not fighting Trump. So he's going to try to show that he's fighting Trump but he has absolutely no logical basis for doing so here.
So just to be clear, there's not going to be any negotiation at this meeting. This is just going to be you and Thune and Trump telling Jeffries and Schumer, we're not giving you anything.
Look, I'm not going to get in front of the president and tell you what he will do, but I've talked with him, a couple of times, even yesterday. And I'm telling you where his head is. He wants to bring in the leaders to come in and act like leaders and do the right thing for the American people. It's fine to have partisan debates and squabbles, but you don't hold the people hostage for their services to allow yourself political cover. And that's what Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries are doing right now.
Let's turn to the other big subject in the news here, having to do with the indictment of former FBI Director James Comey. Just looking at the principle at stake here, if you can remove Comey and Trump out of the equation, as a constitutional attorney and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, do you believe it's acceptable for any president to publicly or privately instruct their attorney general to prosecute a political opponent and go as far as firing a U.S. attorney if they don't bring charges because they don't think the case is strong enough?
I'm glad you brought up the principle. That is exactly what's at issue here. James Comey lied to Congress. Okay, he took an oath. He said things to Congress that were simply not true. It's called perjury. A grand jury that is not, a nonpartisan, non-biased grand jury that was assembled looked at the charges and they agreed, they voted to bring an indictment of James Comey. Not President Trump, not the DOJ, but a grand jury. That's how our system works. It's a very important principle for us to apply that everybody has to subscribe to the law, even a former FBI director. And he has lots to answer for. There are many things that he could have been indicted for, but the statute of limitations ran out on so many of those matters. Not here. Perjury is important. You can't, especially if you're a high official, appointed or elected official, you cannot raise your hand, take an oath, and lie to Congress. And that's an important principle, Jake, for us to advance.
Does the rule of law have to apply to people who stormed the Capitol on January 6th?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. There's new information over the last couple of days about that as well. Apparently, there were 274 FBI agents in the crowd on January 6th.
No.
I think the total number of persons involved.
Cash Patel just brought some enhanced understanding to that. They were sent there to do crowd control because of everything that was going on. It wasn't a false flag operation, as President Trump suggested.
Well, Jake, wait a minute. Hold on, Jake. How do you know that, right? There's a lot of questions, brand new questions about, and I'm telling you that there's videos and it's always been disputed what involvement some of those persons, engaged in, what involvement they had. Did they spur on the crowd? Did they open the gates to allow them in? I don't know. These are questions, but they should be answered. And yes, there's a lot of investigation and discovery to go forward. We have a select subcommittee, bipartisan, a committee that is reviewing the investigation of the original J6 committee. I mean, a committee investigating the previous committee. Why? Because there was so much bias in the system. And that committee was rigged, I think. And I think my theory is, I've always believed that they got rid of evidence and they hid some of this. So all of it's going to come out. The American people deserve full transparency.
Full transparency,
and that's what
100%.
Congress is working on, and that's what the administration is working on.
I'm always in favor of full transparency, including,
so
including for the Epstein files, which that will probably come on the floor of the House
Me too.
Soon, and we'll have lots of discussions about that. Speaker Johnson, always good to have you here. Thank you so much, sir.
Crying harder. Crying harder. Trump is your president. Crying harder. Crying harder. Trump is your president.
On the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist!" exclamation point, catch exclamation point.
Do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do.
No one has ever been more dangerous to this country than Donald Trump, and he is a fascist to his core.
Hey, let me shut down the Senate! We are at war!
We're in a war right now.
We are at war.
So you have to be willing to do whatever is necessary in order to save the country.
And that's why the gloves are off.
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans representing extremism
that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
And yes, there are many threats to democracy. We see it with these extreme candidates.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
You can only push people so far, and then they start to take matters into their own hands.
What the American public want is for us to bring actual weapons to this bar fight. This is an actual fight.
You know, this is literally call to arms.
The MAGA movement is a threat.
But Michelle says that, when they go low, we go high. No.
With all due respect, if they go low, we don't go high.
When they go low, we kick them.
We take them to the mud and choke them out.
And make sure that they stay down. And you know what? Kick them when they're down, because they deserve it.
Get up in the face of some Congress people.
We are going to be in your face. We are going to be on your...
We have to fight this in the streets.
We're going to fight it in the streets.
It's time to step out of your comfort zone and step out into the streets.
To our Republican colleagues, if you do not see the light, we will bring the fire. Resist! You and your little friend off of Twitter. Y'all about to find out.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
He's not going to have a third term. He may not finish this term.
That's the last few days you woke up thinking there might be news. Just saying. Just saying. There will be news sometime. Just so you know, there will be news.
I want to be remembered for courage for my faith. That would be the most important thing. Most important thing is my faith in my life.
But if you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.